Sports and politics don't mix. That quote comes from a legendary U.S. athlete, speed skater Eric Heiden. You remember him, all those gold medals. He won an unprecedented 5 back at the 1980 Olympic Games in Lake Placid. His remarks were in response to President Jimmy Carter's boycott of the Summer Games that same year in Moscow. Carter's decision was a reaction to Russia's invasion of Afghanistan. Ultimately, 65 nations said das vidanya, that means goodbye, to the Olympics that year. Certainly wasn't the first time sports and politics would mix into an explosive combination, and we all know it wasn't the last. In fact, more than a decade before, 2 other American Olympians made some history of their own. On the podium in Mexico City after they both medaled in the 200-meter race, Tommie Smith and John Carlos each raised a fist. Their protests for racial equality and human rights got them banned from all future games. A few years after that dramatic moment, the International Olympic Committee introduced Rule 50 to its charter, which reads, in part, "It is a fundamental principle that sport is neutral and must be separate from political, religious, or any other type of interference." The rule was meant to ban expressions of politics on fields of play, on medal podiums, and during official ceremonies. A lot's happened in sports and in the world since then, causing people to rethink the spirit of that rule. In pro sports, we've had athletes like Colin Kaepernick and LeBron James leading national movements against police brutality and racism. Just don't ask LeBron about Hong Kong. U.S. soccer star Megan Rapinoe testified before Congress about inequity in pay for female athletes.
There's no level of status and there's no accomplishment or power that will protect you from the clutches of inequality.
Not surprisingly, these moves have been controversial. President Trump famously blasted Kaepernick and other NFL players who took a stand on the field, who kneeled on the field, actually, drawing comparisons to the shut up and sing firestorm that the Dixie Chicks faced back in 2003 after they protested the Iraq War. By the way, they're now known just as the Chicks. Dropping Dixie was also, for political reasons, I guess, dropping chicks unnecessary. But like the antebellum South, the divide between politics and sports that Eric Heiden hoped for is also becoming history. Last year, the head of the IOC published an op-ed saying the Olympic Games are not about politics. He was calling for neutrality in what was certain to be a polarized moment in Japan. Still, as the Tokyo Games wrap up, they'll be remembered not just for the pandemic or the heated local battles over whether they should have happened at all. They are also a moment when Rule 50 got pretty questionable. Whether it was soccer players taking a knee, or German gymnasts in full-body leotards, or Australian athletes holding up an indigenous flag, there's been an awful lot of protesting going on, and perhaps a relaxing of the rules, at least a bit. Looking ahead to Beijing and the Winter Games in 2022, remains to be seen if this new Olympic spirit is going to cross borders, or if a repeat of the 1980 boycott is just a hammer throw away.